All right, what's up, everyone? Jonathan here with Boston Collectors, and today's video is all about Miles Morales. Now, recently we unboxed the Iron Spider from Infinity War, but today I get to unbox a video game masterpiece, and I am excited. Now, for those of you who did not get to play Miles Morales, I would suggest playing it. I'm not going to be one of those collectors who say, no, you can't get this unless you do what you want. It's your money and it's your collection, man. Who am I to tell you no? But I would highly suggest playing this game if you haven't already, because technically these are two suits in one, and I'll explain that later on as we continue. So right away, we've got this really cool art box design here where we have this raised sort of design here on the box with the triangular portions. And we also have sort of this glossy text as well, as you can see here. Same on the side. It would have been super cool if we perhaps maybe had that shine a little bit differently, but there is some shine on it. We've got the Miles Morales text there as well. And then as we turn it over to the back, we have the portrait. We have a lot of the warnings and, the where-done-its, not necessarily the who-done-its. We also have the text here on the side as well, Miles Morales, and back to the front. So, VGM 046, let's get into the box. So, I know that there's an insane amount of glare here. I apologize, but I did want to show you all what it looked like right out of the sleeve. So, we're introduced to the accessories, obviously the figure. We also have the plastic film here, allowing us to see through. And then we also have this really nice band that sort of, let's turn it over there, that sort of continues from here through the middle to the other side, which is really, really, really cool. So it's got like this really nice looking finish here as well, too. I don't feel any raised decals or anything on this box though, but it looks absolutely phenomenal. We do have the geometric shapes, as you can see here. And back here, there we go. You can get a feel for the different styles. So you can either have him with the winter wear, or you can have him pose with just the backpack, no winter wear, and just the Venom ability. So on the side there, we have the VGM number Miles Morales with the spider, and back to the front. So now let's go ahead and get him out of the box. And here we have the figure. I am super, super excited to start getting into it. I absolutely love the way that they have the accessories laid out. We do have extra accessories here off to the side. However, we'll get into this in the next section. But back to the figure. Again, I absolutely love the way that they have everything laid out. We have Web sitting underneath the winter suit version of the accessories. The web sort of sunken in there. I absolutely love the packaging. So let's get to the important part here, and that is the figure. All right, so this isn't a big piece there. That's all separate. Check that out. Ready? Hold on. Oh, look at that shine. Oh, that is so good. Oh yeah. Oh, thank the heavens, we have a neck joint inside. Oh, yes. So, I can't wait to get into the posing. That was one thing that I forgot to note in my Iron Spider review, that neck joint missing. But I did say, I mentioned the shoulder region, but I forgot to mention that that neck joint was missing in the Iron Spider. But back to Miles Morales. This figure is impressive. Oh, I can't wait to get into this. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and put him back. And there we go. Let's get into the accessories. We're going to go ahead and start with the base design this time. We have the standard marble hexagonal design with a rugged textured base layer. Over that, we do have a shiny layer to provide a bit of separation between the textures. With any Spider-Man figure, a flight stand and a lobster claw waist grabber should be standard, so this release is no different. Moving on to the backpack, the realism in this accessory is insane. The buckles, zippers, and straps may appear movable, but they aren't. There are two pieces that can be altered, one being the backpack straps located at the bottom of the bag, and the top portion for the Spider-Man cat to sit inside. For Hot Toys to engineer a clickable shoulder strap in the bag makes it feel as if we can use it freely without possibly harming the figure. We don't have to bend the arms back, possibly damaging the figure to slide it off and on. I think it's an awesome touch. Now we can get into the upper region of the backpack. It may be obvious for some of you, but just in case it isn't, the top portion is removable. There's a soft layer inside so we don't scratch up the Spider-Man cat included. With that, we're given an extra accessory for the cat to hang over while chilling in the bag. The mask on the cat isn't removable, and this particular version only comes in one pose. While the cat doesn't belong with this particular outfit nor the classic suit, you could always act as if your figure was in the middle of doing this side quest, or maybe you're just into cats. Next up, the Venom Blast effects. I usually don't use extra accessories like these, but they're just so damn cool. My only downside is that we didn't receive glowing fists similar to the recent Captain Marvel release. It would have paired up with the effects very nicely. However, considering they gave us this with the piece, it works out alright. The effects are rather sturdy, but bendable enough for a small window of give in case you get a little aggressive with your poses. You can mix and match these though if you want on separate arms, but the instructions tell you which version works best for the right locations. I've also seen poses where collectors added the Venom Blast effects to Miles' feet, and those look pretty cool, honestly. As for the chest effects, it's one piece you can add over the head, but I would suggest you pop it off so you don't scar it by accident. There isn't exactly a click-in feel to this piece, but rather a snug fit over the back and chest. Next up, we're given a pair of left and right fists. The web shooters are already installed on the figure out of the packaging, and they are removable. We also have a left and right pair of thwipping hands. Now, these come with removable palms for you to add the web effect click in the palms. These will give the illusion of the web activation and allow you to add the extra web pieces included. There's a lot of great detailing in the extra web accessories, but I probably won't end up using them. Either way, they're pretty cool. Next up, we're given a left and right pair of relaxed hands, which come pre-installed on the figure right out of the packaging. For the advanced posers, we have a pair of left and right wall climbing hands. These aren't to be confused with relaxed hands, although they appear fairly similar. Last but not least, we have a pair of left and right web holding hands. As always, we have extra pegs and the instruction manual included as well. In our recent review for the Iron Spider, the mask portion was a bit different. If you haven't seen that review, feel free to check it out in the upper right hand corner of the video. The Iron Spider had a magnetized joint, but this one doesn't. I feel it was at the expense of a lower neck joint for better articulation, which I'm okay with. It allows for better expression when posing. While we may not have too much to go over with the helmet, we do have quite a few eye expressions included. Out of the box, we have the sort of surprised expression, or neutral. I don't know, let me know what you think these are. Next, we have the frowning expression in the eyes, which could be used in combat poses, or if you want him to charge up his Venom Blast effects included. We also have more of what I consider a neutral expression. They're slightly lower than the eyes that come pre-installed on the mask, but still, in my opinion, rather neutral. Hot Toys don't have to do this, but giving us a pair of eyes between the neutral and frowning expression is pretty nice of them. So here you have a frowning neutral pair of eyes. And last but not least, why not mix and match expressions to give Miles a bit more character? So I consider the winter accessories that go on the mask part of this section. Out the gate, I'm not a fan of the earmuffs. I love them, but I wish they were maybe magnetized so they didn't slip down so damn much. I fear damaging the mask because of it. Perhaps a little fuzzy layer would have made them feel a little better and I wouldn't have worried so much. Apart from that, though, they captured the winter suit very well. The scarf is pretty straightforward. Pop off the helmet, slide the scarf down, straighten it out, and you're pretty much done. You don't have to fold the scarf together yourself as it's stitched together. The hat takes a bit of futzing around though, but not nearly as long as it took with the earmuffs. In the game, the hat wasn't pulled down all the way, so I wanted to mimic that by keeping it up a bit. If you want, the hat can be lowered all the way down. Small suggestion though, I recommend the band of the earmuffs angling up rather than down, so you don't have to deal with too many issues of it sliding. To start, I want to point out how superior this suit is to the Iron Spider. Now, the Iron Spider suit is great, but this one is so damn good. Like I mentioned in that review, they just needed time, and this is what we got from it. I love the rugged texture of the fabric and the ridged patterns throughout the rest of the suit. It looks exactly like what we see in Miles Morales' game. In the midsection, we have a ratchet joint that will allow our figure to hold its pose. It's a lot better versus rising up over time. I also want to point out the muscles in the forearm. That's a firm part of the body itself. Weird to point out now, but you'll learn why I did in a second. In the upper body, we have ratchet joints that are lateral from side to side, but we don't have ratchet joints from front to back. Now, the back muscles, biceps, pecs, abs, and collarbone muscles are all silicone. Like I mentioned earlier, some parts are hard and attached to the figure body, but to create fake muscles out of silicone, this is a first for me. Like, I only collect Star Wars pieces. I don't feel as much restriction in the shoulder joints as I did with the Iron Spider, so that'll make it easier for collectors who enjoy posing their figures. As mentioned earlier, there is a joint in the lower portion of the neck for better range of motion as well. There's probably one major point that I want to talk about when it comes to the mask. Be very careful when posing that you're paying attention to the back. You don't want to scrape the paint off or damage it by accident. I came close to it a few times because of being used to the Iron Spider. As mentioned earlier, this is a peg joint and not a magnetized mask. It's unfortunate that we didn't get the Miles portrait with this figure. It's literally his classic suit, yet for some reason we don't receive it. It's probably my major negative of the piece. Apart from that, I'm glad we have a peg joint instead of the magnetized joint. Miles is known for having some really nice kicks. We don't really get anything too crazy with the suit, but they look good nevertheless. They match the backpack well too. Luckily enough, Hot Toys went ahead and gave us a little tread underneath as well. Picking up Miles, I would have to go back and alter the rating I gave the Iron Spider ever so slightly. Now, I gave the Iron Spider a 4.8, but I would have to reduce it to a 4.5 and give Miles Morales the 4.8 out of 5 rating. The only reason it isn't a 5 out of 5 figure is because of two things. One, the earmuff design sucks. It isn't that great, not feeling it, not at all. The major issue, we don't receive a portrait. A portrait with this classic suit. We don't get it. I'm not adding the lightning effect hands to the rating because I think it would have been cool to have, but they already drowned us in extra hands, so I'm not really upset about that. But come on, a portrait, come on, man. Apart from those few things, I haven't stopped touching this figure. I usually find a pose and, I throw it in the cabinet for viewing pleasure afterwards. After playing the Miles Morales game, there are a few suits I wouldn't mind seeing. If you'd like to see a video on that, let me know down below. I do find it interesting they chose to add the sketchbook in the Bodega Cat release and not this one, especially since he drew up his classic suit before getting the Bodega Cat outfit. Speaking of outfits, I can't wait to see what they do with his invisibility effect. I'm calling it now, man. Toy Fair exclusive. Getting back on topic though, if you're unsure about this figure, jump on it. I really wish the PS4 Spider-Man were still around. I'd love to have him pose next to Miles. Regardless, I'm very happy that I picked this up, and you will be too, especially if you're into Spider-Man. This is technically 2 suits in one, so you might even want to pick up 2 if you have the funds. We're almost at 500 subs, so feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. Go ahead and check us out over on TikTok. You know the drill of the rest. Like, comment, all that good stuff. This is Jonathan with Boston Collectors. Thank you so much for watching.